Welcome, warriors of the night, architects of your own fate, souls who refuse to bow down to the shallow light of mediocrity. This isn't a place for the faint-hearted. This isn't a stage for those who settle for whispers in the wind. Here, you're about to be hit with pure, unfiltered truth, raw power, and relentless fire. No sugarcoating, no gentle nudges, no trailer for what's coming. Just the force of reality crashing down like thunder, shaking your bones and stirring the depths you thought were long dead. This is the moment where excuses die, where hesitation shatters into dust, where you stand face to face with the hardest version of yourself and dare to conquer it. Because here, now, the only option is to rise, harder and fiercer than ever before. Before we dive into this abyss of unyielding intensity, I want you to stop for a second. Look around, wherever you are, whatever state you're in. This moment, this second, is your crossroads. It is your choice to keep scrolling, keep hiding, or to step up and become the force you were always meant to be. If you feel even the smallest flicker of fire in your gut, if something deep inside you is screaming, "I'm not done," then I'm asking you from the depths of this relentless energy. Subscribe, like, and comment. This isn't just about numbers or algorithms. It's about building a community of warriors who refuse to settle, who rise from the darkest pits, who turn pain into power and fear into fuel. Your voice matters here. Your presence fuels this movement. So don't hold back. Join this tribe. Because when you do, you're not just watching a speech. You're declaring war on your limits. You drop that bomb like a cataclysmic event, and now there's no turning back. The ground beneath you has cracked, and the old foundations of weakness have collapsed into rubble. You've struck with such force that the echoes ripple across the landscape of your life. This is the kind of heat that burns away everything that's fake, everything that's comfortable, everything that's safe. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't seek approval. It just detonates and demands you face the fallout. What remains after the smoke clears is the real you, raw, unfiltered, untamed. You may be tempted to step back into the shadow, to find shelter in excuses, to clutch at the remnants of your old self like a security blanket. But know this, comfort is the enemy of growth. The moment you settle for less than your own explosive potential is the moment you die a little inside. This is the moment you either become the force that reshapes your reality, or you become a ghost, haunting the ruins of your own wasted life. Every single second you hesitate is another second you betray the power you carry within. You are not here by accident. You are forged in fire, tempered by struggle, and designed to break every limit that dares to cage you. Life does not owe you anything, and it never will. It's brutal, it's unforgiving, and it will chew you up if you let it. But here's the truth. Most will never admit. Pain is your fuel, fear is your signal, and failure is your tuition. You don't need a soft landing. You don't need a guide holding your hand through the storm. You need to embrace the storm, become the storm, and unleash it with a fury so relentless it leaves the world trembling in your wake. The greatest warriors never waited for a warning or a teaser. They charged headfirst into the unknown, knowing that the only way out was through. You think you've been tested? You haven't seen the edge yet. The world has a way of breaking you down, stripping you bare, exposing every crack in your armor. But that's where you find your strength. When everything falls apart, the real you rises. There's a power in embracing the darkest moments, in staring into the void and refusing to blink. Because that's where transformation is born, in the place where most give up. You are stronger than the scars, tougher than the setbacks, and more unstoppable than the doubts. Your greatest weapon is your refusal to be defeated. The heat you carry isn't just a flame, it's an inferno burning through the lies you've told yourself, the limits others tried to place on you, and the chains of your own hesitation. This fire will consume everything in its path and forge a version of you that the world will never see coming. Every time you fall, every time the darkness threatens to swallow you whole, remember this: you are the bomb that dropped without warning, the force that shattered the silence and shook the foundations. You did not come here to be a shadow in the crowd. You came to leave a mark so fierce it will echo across lifetimes. You were born for the battlefield, not the sidelines. You were made to tear down walls, to crush doubt, to burn away complacency. So don't shy away from the heat. Don't fear the flames. Step into them. Own them. Let them consume you, and from the ashes, rise stronger, fiercer, and more alive than ever before. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It demands every ounce of your courage, every shred of your willpower, and every drop of your relentless spirit. You will face nights so dark you'll question if the sun will ever rise again. You will encounter moments so brutal they will threaten to break you. But within those moments lies your rebirth. Pain will be your sculptor, struggle your teacher, and perseverance your legacy. You didn't drop that bomb by accident. You dropped it because deep inside, you knew that the only way to shake the world was to shake yourself first. The only way to rise was to explode. The only way to claim your power was to unleash it without warning. So here's the cold, hard truth. No one is coming to save you. No one owes you a second chance or a helping hand. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, the only force standing between who you are and who you're destined to become. The heat you carry is not a curse. It's a blessing wrapped in pain, a call to arms for the warrior inside you waiting to rise. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need a spotlight to shine. You only need to ignite that fire, fuel it with your relentless will, and burn away every excuse that stands in your way. Remember this: the bomb you dropped was the start of a revolution, the revolution within. A revolution that refuses to be silenced, that will not be tamed, that will rewrite your story in flames of undeniable power. No teasers, no warnings, just the purest, fiercest heat. And as the smoke clears, as the dust settles, the world will know. You dropped that bomb, and there is no going back. Only forward, only upward, only into the blaze of your own unstoppable destiny. The world doesn't prepare you for the moment when you drop that bomb. There's no handbook, no guide, no safety net. It's chaos, destruction, and rebirth, all rolled into one cataclysmic event. But in that chaos, in that raw explosion of your potential unleashed, you discover something undeniable. You discover that you are more than every fear that's ever tried to cage you, more than every doubt that whispered lies in your ear, more than every failure that tried to convince you to quit. You, the aftermath of the storm, the unshakable force that no one saw coming. The silence after the explosion is where legends are born. But don't mistake silence for peace. It's the calm before the next wave, the quiet that tests your resolve and sharpens your hunger. The heat you carry is not just a moment, it's a lifestyle, a relentless pursuit of something greater than yourself, something that makes the pain worthwhile and the sacrifice meaningful. Every step forward is a defiant scream into the void, a statement that you refuse to be erased. When you drop that bomb, you're declaring war on complacency, on fear, on the easy way out. You're choosing the path where most crumble, because you know that true greatness lives beyond comfort. It lives in struggle, in sweat, in the burning sensation of your limits being stretched, torn, and rebuilt stronger than ever. This fire inside you is the sacred spark of transformation. It's the heat that melts the old you and shapes the warrior you were born to become. Understand this, the heat does not discriminate. It doesn't care who you were or what you thought you could do. It only rewards those who dare to step into the flames, who walk through the fire even when their skin is raw, who push forward when their body screams to stop. This journey is brutal because it's real, and reality is rarely kind. But in the brutal, harsh truth lies your salvation. The power to rise from every fall, to rewrite every failure, and to ignite a fire so fierce it burns through the darkness of doubt and fear. This is the fire you dropped without warning. This is the heat that changes everything. And yes, there will be days when the heat feels like too much, when the weight of your own ambition threatens to crush you under its pressure, when every part of you wants to retreat, to hide, to quit. Those days are not your enemy. They are the test of your will. The fire tests the metal of your soul, and only those forged in its flames emerge unbreakable. You dropped that bomb, but dropping it was only the beginning. Now comes the hard part, standing tall in the blast radius, facing the fallout, and turning destruction into your greatest creation. You don't get to choose the explosion, but you get to choose what rises from the ashes. Every setback, every challenge, every moment of doubt is fuel for your next detonation. You don't just survive the heat, you thrive in it. You turn the pressure into power, the pain into purpose, the struggle into strength. This is the warrior's path. The path where you refuse to be a casualty of your circumstances and instead become the architect of your destiny. No teasers, no warnings, just the pure, unfiltered heat of your own relentless will. You dropped that bomb, and now you own the blast. Own it with every fiber of your being. There's a voice inside you. Maybe it's buried beneath years of fear, silence, and surrender. But it's there. It's the voice of a warrior, a fighter, a force that refuses to be extinguished. That voice is calling you right now. Will you answer it? Will you rise and meet the heat you dropped with even greater fury? Or will you let the explosion fade into a distant memory, swallowed by the noise of excuses and what-ifs? The choice is yours, but know this. The world is waiting for the heat only you can bring. The world is waiting for you to step into the fire and burn brighter than anyone ever imagined. So stand up, take a breath, feel the fire raging in your chest. This isn't a moment to back down. This is a moment to drop every fear, every doubt, every hesitation, and unleash the full force of who you are. You dropped that bomb like a storm, and now it's time to become the hurricane. The storm that no one can predict, no one can control, and no one can stop. The storm that changes everything. No teasers, no warnings. Just straight heat. And that heat is yours. Claim it. Own it. Burn with it. Because in the end, the only thing standing between you and greatness is the decision to keep dropping bombs until the world has no choice but to recognize your power. There comes a time in every person's life when silence is no longer an option, when stillness becomes poison, when the calm no longer feels like peace, but like death creeping in quietly, waiting for you to forget what you're capable of. And that time is now, right now, because the moment you drop that bomb, the moment you let the fire erupt without permission or warning, you awaken something ancient, something primal, something that has always lived within you, but was buried under years of noise, fear, and conformity. And now that it's loose, Now that it's burning through every part of your past, there's no going back, no crawling back to comfort, no returning to the illusion of safety, no apologizing for the power you just unleashed, because this fire doesn't beg, and it doesn't wait. It devours, it consumes, and it elevates those brave enough to stand within it and let it turn them into something unrecognizable, something untouchable. You have to understand something, and you need to understand it right now, no matter who you are or where you come from. The second you declared war on your limits, you became something else entirely. You stopped being a spectator. You stopped being a shadow. You became the storm. And when you're the storm, you don't ask for permission to rise. You don't wait for support. You don't explain why you're chasing the unthinkable. You move, you act, you destroy, and you build again with your own hands, your own blood, your own broken fingers, if that's what it takes. Because you know, deep down, no one is going to hand it to you. No one is going to see the fire inside you and stoke it for you. That's your job, your responsibility, your calling. And if you abandon that fire, if you let the smoke choke it out, then you'll spend the rest of your life haunted by the ghost of who you could have become. There will be people who won't understand the fire inside you, who will try to dim it, to silence it, to smother it with their comfort zones, their doubt, their small expectations, and their fragile egos. But remember this: when you dropped that bomb, it wasn't to impress them, it wasn't to convince them, it wasn't to be liked or accepted or understood. You dropped it because you couldn't stay caged another second, because you couldn't tolerate the lies you were telling yourself, because you knew there was more inside you and you were willing to blow up your whole world to find it. That's what power looks like. That's what hunger feels like. That's what it means to choose evolution over stagnation, growth over comfort, heat over sentence. You are the reckoning they never expected. And now that the fire has started, let it burn. Let it burn through every lie you believed, every weakness you clung to, every excuse you held close as a shield. Let it burn through the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being good enough, because all of that is fiction. All of that was designed to keep you small, but you're not small, not anymore. Not since the second you stepped into this fire and dropped everything that no longer served you. You think this is just a motivational moment. No, this is a rebirth. This is a revolution. This is the rise of a soul that refuses to kneel. And if you keep walking through this fire, you will come out the other side as something rare, something terrifying, something that no one can control or predict, not even you. You have a choice right now to go back to who you were, to retreat, to what's familiar and easy, or to step forward into this heat and let it transform you completely. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be comfortable, but it will be real, and it will be worth it. And once you taste that level of truth, that level of raw power, you'll never be able to settle again. Because you'll know what you're capable of. You'll know that inside you lives a weapon forged in failure, sharpened by pain, and unleashed by fire. And the only thing more dangerous than that weapon is the person who chooses to wield it again and again, until the world has no choice but to feel the heat. So don't slow down, don't cool off, don't second guess yourself. Now, you didn't come this far to fizzle out. You didn't go through all that pain just to end up back where you started. You came to destroy everything that was holding you back, to rebuild with your own fire, with your own sweat, with your own refusal to stay down when life tried to bury you. You dropped that bomb, and now the smoke is thick. The ground is scorched, but you're still standing, and that means you're just getting started. Because when you walk through hell and come out still burning, That's not luck. That's proof that you are the fire. No teaser, no warning, just straight heat. That's your truth. Now, that's your signature. You don't whisper your way into greatness. You roar your way through it. You don't ask for the door to be opened. You tear the walls down with your bare hands and carve your own path through the ashes of everything that once told you to stay small and silent and scared. And every step you take now leaves a trail of fire behind you, a message written in smoke and scorched earth that says, I was here, I existed, I mattered, and I refuse to settle for anything less than everything, because here's the final truth, the one most people are too afraid to admit. You are the bomb, you are the blast, you are the fire, and everything that comes after is your legacy. No more waiting, no more warning, and definitely no more permission. Just heat, just power, just fire and forward motion. And if the world can't handle that, if the world can't handle you, then let it burn. There will be days when the weight of your past tries to crawl back into your bones, when your old identity sneaks in through the cracks, whispering lies that you're not ready, not good enough, not built for the path you chose. And in those moments, you must remember what you did. You must remember what you started. You must remember the silence before the blast and the roar that followed, because you dropped that bomb. You lit that fire. And now everything that comes next is yours to command. Not because it's easy, not because it's promised, but because you've already proven that you will not be moved. You will not be broken. You will not be talked down from the edge, because the edge is where you live now. The edge is your kingdom, your arena, your fire pit, and you were born to burn brighter than everything that ever tried to dim you. You are going to lose people. You are going to scare people. You are going to outgrow places and mindsets and roles that once felt like home, and you will mourn them. You will miss them. You will feel the gravity pulling you back, but you must keep walking forward into the heat, because anything you outgrew was never meant to carry your full power. Anything that couldn't survive your fire was never worthy of your flame, and you are not responsible for shrinking just so others can feel safe around your greatness. This world is not made better by you being quiet. It's made better when you burn so fiercely that others remember they were born with fire too. And if they run from your heat, let them run, because this flame doesn't chase it, only rises. Don't you dare forget what it took to get here. Don't you dare dishonor the war. You fought to reach this fire, because the person you used to be didn't drop this bomb. The person you used to be wouldn't have had the courage, the vision, the brutality, the willingness to risk it all for a new version of yourself. But you did. You became the version who stopped asking and started claiming, who stopped waiting and started creating, who stopped fearing and started burning. And you did it without warning, without permission, without apology. And now the ashes of who you were are behind you, and the fire of who you're becoming is all that matters. Every time you show up when no one's watching, when the lights are off, when the world is quiet and the doubt is loud, that's when your fire grows stronger. Every time you keep going after failure, after loss, after being forgotten or overlooked or underestimated, that's when your power becomes permanent. And every time you tell the voice of fear to step aside and you act anyway, you speak anyway, you build anyway, you move anyway, that's when you become untouchable. And don't you ever forget this. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs a firestorm. It needs a roar that doesn't care if it's heard. It needs a force that doesn't ask if it's allowed. It needs you. So make no mistake, you are not on this path to impress anyone. You are not walking this road to win approval or applause. You are here to conquer yourself, to face the deepest, darkest corners of your own soul and set them on fire until there's nothing left but the truth of who you are and who you've always been. Under the pain, under the fear, under the silence, you were fire. And now it's your time to ignite the world around you with that truth. They won't see it coming. They'll ask how you changed, how you rose, how you came back from the fall. And they'll never understand that it wasn't luck, it wasn't magic, it wasn't handed to you. It was fire, it was choice. It was the refusal to live another second behind the walls of who you used to be. And you will smile, not out of pride, but because you know what it cost you, and you paid in full with scars and silence and sweat and sacrifice. And now every step you take carries the weight of someone who burned for this. The bomb you dropped was not a mistake. It was your beginning. It was the alarm clock for the sleeping beast inside you. It was the moment your soul punched through every layer of hesitation and said no more. No more. Fear no more. Waiting. No more hiding. And now the fire is permanent. The heat is forever. The fuse has been lit, and no one, no voice, no setback, no fear can put it out. Because this fire doesn't flicker. This fire consumes. You didn't come this far for a taste. You came for the whole thing. For the blood and the flame and the thunder. You came to tear down every gate that told you you weren't allowed through, to smash every ceiling that tried to trap your growth, to bury every limitation beneath the fire of your own evolution. And you will not stop. You will not slow. You will not explain or shrink or dilute or edit yourself to be palatable. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out so hard, the universe has to shift around you. You are the bomb and the fire and the crater. Left behind you are the silence before the impact and the roar that never fades. And now you have only one direction to move forward into the flame, into the dark, into the pressure where diamonds are made and warriors are forged, where legacies are written, not in words but in scars, in impact, in flame and heat and echoes that never stop ringing. So one more time, no teaser, no warning, just straight heat, the kind of heat that changes lives, the kind that breaks timelines and redefines purpose, the kind that makes history out of ordinary days and kings out of broken men, the kind that silences doubt with one move, one step, one action, and you just took it. You dropped that bomb, and now it's time to become what only you can become. Unstoppable, unbreakable, undeniable, and on fire for the rest of your life. Let it burn forever.